Founded upon the principles of accessibility and affordability, community colleges were designed to expand access to higher education. These values remain present to this day, as community colleges are renowned for their inclusivity through their low barriers to entry and through their wide array of opportunities made accessible to all aspiring students. Yet, there is a strong stigma directed towards community colleges, mostly due to the fact that they don't abide by society's view of a traditional academic trajectory. Many aspiring students have consequently been restricted to believe that the immediate attendance of a four-year university is the only viable path for their academic journey, leaving other viable paths such as community college to be out of the picture. Let me be clear, community colleges aren't always the optimal choice, for there isn't a one-size-fits-all approach to educational attainment, but in no way should they be disregarded due to rational stereotypes and generalizations. That is why for Bergen PTK's 2021 college project, we seek to encourage community college attendance by taking a three-pronged approach, in which we seek to combat the stigma surrounding community college, revise the onboarding of non-traditional students, and strengthen the connection between alumni and Bergen. Now I could go on and on about the reality of community college, but it wouldn't be as nearly as compelling than to hear from Bergen alumni themselves.
I chose to attend a community college for a few reasons. First, I was an NJ-STAR student, so that gave me the opportunity to attend my first 2 years at an institution and have it paid for, which goes into one of the many reasons that students usually attend community college is to avoid debt. It can be to help out in the family household. It can be many reasons. So for me personally, I attended community college because it felt most convenient.
I started a little later at 25, and I thought to myself, the best way to get back into school was a community college. It was a no-brainer, and I'm happy I did it. It was the right decision. And like I said, I started in my mid-20s. So imagine if I would have started at 18,
So I arrived to Bergen Community College as an international student, and I came from Dominican Republic. So after graduating high school, or I guess I should say like 2 years before I graduated high school, I knew that I wanted to come to the US to pursue a better education than the one that I would have gotten if I was in DR.
The main reason I would have to say was because I was lucky enough to get into the STARS program that Bergen offers, and that is a program for incoming students that come right from high school. If you have a certain GPA or meet a certain qualification based on your grades in high school, you then get money to go to Bergen. So my tuition was paid for. That was a big reason why I went to Bergen, because financially, I didn't really have the money to go to a four-year university at that time. So it was overall the best decision money-wise. And also, I didn't really know what I wanted to do at that point. I'm still trying to figure it out currently, but especially at that point in time, I wasn't sure, what my major should be, where I want to go to school. And Bergen just seemed like the best option. I was able to work while going to school, save money, and kind of figure out what my next step was going to be. I wasn't ready to go to a four-year university right after high school. I knew that wasn't the best decision for me at that time.
It was a logical choice. I paid for my own education, and since international student tuition rates are high, it was more affordable option to attend community college. Also, I'm a non-traditional student as well, and because of the gap years I had, I wanted a smooth transition.
So I was looking at my options with my family members who lived in the US, specifically in New Jersey, which is, Paramus. Mm-hmm. So I decided that the best choice for me would be to do something that I'm sure a lot of people do here in the United States, which is go to a community college to try and find out what major do you want to go into, or what interests you in college before you actually go into a four-year university where it's a little bit more committed. So I decided to do that, and I came to Bergen as an international student. At first, I didn't really know what I wanted to pursue for my major, but I knew that it would be a good choice to go to a community college, try and give myself a semester or two to choose what it was that I wanted to do with my major. And then I could just like continue to pursue whatever it is that I would choose, in this case, business administration or business management, and finish with my associates and then transfer to another institution where I could finish my studies in a more efficient way.
Yeah, I didn't want to just jump into it without really knowing what I wanted to do. And Bergen was the right option for me at that time.
My initial impression was not that positive. I didn't initially want to attend community college. All my friends were going super far. It seemed like I was going to be missing out on a lot of the normal things that people straight out of high school get to go through. So for me, it wasn't too positive, but it also wasn't drastically negative to the point where I hated community college.
So unlike a high schooler going to school and watching their buddies go to like Montclair or Rutgers, my friends had already went to Bergen, with the bad, going to community college, and they had transferred to Montclair. And then when I stepped my foot in Bergen Community College, I had friends who had already been there and graduated from their four-year university. So I went in there with a huge impression. I almost shed a tear just walking in there. So to me, it wasn't even walking into a community college. It was, wow, I'm really doing this. So it was a powerful moment when I chose Bergen and I walked into Bergen at 25.
Since I hadn't been involved in the education system in the US before I attended BCC, like I never really like visited or anything like that, but just from my own understanding of it, based on like the website and like the little connections that I had with people who had attended BCC, I was really excited because coming to the US as an international student for me was kind of like opening this door of opportunities. It wasn't just like, oh, I'm gonna go to a community college and like, it's not that big of a deal. Like to me, it was, because coming to Bergen, like I would look at Bergen as if it was like the beginning of like my academic journey, and where I was going to make all of these new friends and like grow as a person and like thrive. So I would say that my impression was definitely positive, and I was very excited. I knew it was going to be the best decision of my life. So even before I arrived, I already knew that it was going to be a good fit for me.
If I'm being honest, I didn't know much about community college before attending. It wasn't my plan originally. It was a last minute decision to go to Bergen. I wasn't always going to go to Bergen. I decided later into my senior year of high school, to go to Bergen. So I didn't really know much about it. Being honest, I didn't do much research on Bergen Community College. I kind of just went into it. I knew it was the other option besides going to four-year university. I knew it was 2 years, but I didn't know much about the school until I started going to it.
Truthfully, just 2-year college. Just straight up just 2-year college. And I thought it was mainly for those students who wants to get skills training for like a myriad of job fields. Job fields and who wants to go straight to workforce, I guess. Yeah.
Attending community college actually helped me get a sense of adulthood that I don't think I would have gotten at a four-year institution far away. There's just certain things that you learn when you're at a four-year institution, being far away from home. And then there are some things that you learn while you're in community college, where you're learning how to commute, you're learning how to be on time, you're learning how to handle the resources that are given to you. BCC has a lot of resources, so it can be very overwhelming. I learned how to set my priorities straight through that. So it didn't start off extremely bright, but it definitely ended in a positive light. So, yeah.
The first year was difficult. The transition was difficult, but then I took a step back from work and really dove into my studies and embraced everything that Bergen had to offer. So I felt like I was a Bergen Community College student. After that first year, I really felt home. I felt like I was in the right place.
So was I aware of the stigmas associated with community college? Absolutely. When I was a senior in high school, even high school teachers were kind of questioning my decision to go to community college, I had this pressure where a lot of my friends and teachers were expecting me to have gone somewhere really far and like really experience something spectacular straight out of high school. So when I started telling folks that I was going to community college, it was kind of like, oh, that's it? So that gave me the sense of discouragement and awkwardness. And it definitely didn't help when I was matriculating into community college, because I already knew at that point how some people felt about me attending, even teachers that I had in high school, who really wanted me to like believe that I would be going to a four-year institution. So there's definitely a lot of stigma in that area. I think that among the high school population, even students don't really see the positives in community college. And that usually comes with the maturity or just the norm. The norm is to go out and branch out and go far away. So when you don't follow that norm, people kind of look at you a little differently. But it wasn't anything that I couldn't handle. So we out here.
There was always a bad stigma because you weren't at a university. But I gotta tell you, when I walked in there, I felt the negativity from my peers, who were relatively a lot younger than me and had just come from a high school. So I can definitely see where that stigma would fall. But from my perspective, every professor I would meet, I felt like I was in a video game. I just felt more empowered. Every connection I would have, every club I would join, anything I would do just empowered me more in Bergen. So little by little, I started changing some of my friends' perspective, and I told them, hey, join a club with me, or it's not that bad. It's really nice here. And what school are you going to? Where are you transitioning to? This is just a start. So little by little, but yeah, I was aware of it. It has a bad stigma, and it had one, but not the way I saw it.
I wasn't aware before I arrived to BCC. Upon my arrival, when I started getting adjusted to the academic workload and all this stuff, I did start to see a little bit more of the stigmas that the people talk about. Usually the two biggest ones are that, community colleges are not necessarily as ambitious as people think, because the students there are not necessarily as motivated as in other schools where you would have a bigger financial burden, like paying for those schools. So like usually students who go to like four-year schools are more like driven than students who go to like a community college, for example. And also that like maybe the academic like student life wasn't the best, like they didn't have like the best clubs and stuff like that. That's usually what I would hear from my classmates or my workmates when I was at BCC after I had already gotten adjusted a little bit to the Bergen academic workload and the life there. But when I heard all of those like stigmas about community colleges in general that also portrayed or seemed to portray BCC, I couldn't help but completely disagree. Coming back to my other point of how I would look up to BCC as like, the beginning of my journey, like this school that was gonna allow me to like give me this opportunity for me to be able to like prove myself.
Before I went, no, I was not aware of it. But then once I started going and I realized that there was this stigma attached to it. I especially became aware of it when I started telling people I was going to Bergen. Everyone would ask, my family, my friends, other peers would be like, oh, like, where are you going to school? Like after you graduate high school? And I would say Bergen Community College. And just based off their reactions, you could tell it was like, oh, like, that's good. Or, oh, like, great, you're going to save money. Like, it was never the reaction I wanted. And I always wondered, like, what would they have said if I said I was going to a four-year university? Like, what would the difference have been? And you just kind of felt like, oh, like, not that they weren't happy for me, it's just not what they wanted to hear, it almost seemed like. And, like, other peers of mine were going away and going to different schools, like, across the country, and I was just stuck here. And I started to feel like, was this like the lesser decision? Was this not the right decision, just based off other people's reactions? I was kind of confused. Like I was not aware of this stigma until I started telling people I was going to community college. And then I started to realize myself that, oh, like people do kind of judge you a little bit when they realize they're going to community college. There is kind of this stigma, there are these negative thoughts attached to, which there shouldn't be, but you start to realize that people do kind of look and think of you a little differently when they hear that you're going to community college, which is not fair at all. But it is something that I came across, which I was not happy, of course.
No, I wasn't aware. But I think, you should choose like what is right for you. Community college like serves, many purposes. Like some may use it as a stepping stone on a path to a 4-year college degree. Some mainly choose it for its affordability, others for like professional certifications or like post-career enrichment. And there's nothing wrong with attending a community college. And I think at times like you make your own stigma as a community college student and like believe that, I'm behind or like less adequate. So, so instead, like I kind of recommend everyone to focus on making your college like experience more memorable, by taking on leadership roles, engaging in different extracurricular activities, like challenging yourself with like different honor courses, get to know your professors, and like trust me, like community college can provide you with like greater opportunities than like you think. So yeah, I didn't really have stigma before I attended PCC, and it could be because I'm an international student as well. So yeah, that could play a part. But yeah,
I never really felt as if BCC was somewhere that I didn't belong to, or somewhere where I was going to be surrounded by people who weren't worth necessarily my time or something like that. Like I even made friends who I'm still talking to, even now being at Cornell. I talk to them daily. I made one of my best friends at BCC. So I definitely believe that there might be, obviously, just like in all other schools generally, there is going to be people who are not necessarily as motivated as others because they're just like everybody's different. But yeah, I definitely realized the stigmas afterwards and, didn't necessarily agree with them because to me, it was just a wonderful school.
So PTK helped me in so many different ways. In general, at Bergen Community College, I was receiving a lot of help from the summer intensive program. I was receiving help from the general immersive culture of Bergen Community College. But when I joined PTK, that just multiplied by 1,000. And there was a lot of workshops that really helped me, but I think the biggest thing that I got out of that was actually being involved and being on the board and getting to really connect with my PTK advisors, connect with other PTK students, because in that community, I wasn't feeling alone anymore. So I had other students who were also applying for the same scholarship application as me, applying for the same institutions as me, and we were kind of acting as a pillar of support for one another, which I don't think I would have received outside of PTK.
A lot of what I'm going to be taken in from the Honor Society may not be right now. Okay, so I learned a lot. I was a director of service, I think, just like yourself.
Yes.
I think it was the first time I actually conducted and did a soup kitchen volunteer event, and that changed my life a little bit. Seeing how I had that power to get people together and feed someone, life-changing right there. The classmates I was with in the Honor Society, which you're surrounded by as well, are just wonderful individuals. So right now I have a few friends who I have on social media who are in NYU, Cornell University. So like I mentioned, it makes a huge impact. Even, if you get a scholarship from the society and your friends are well-rounded and you're around a good environment, but in 10 years, who knows, I might be able to network with a buddy of mine that I was in the Honor Society with, and he graduated from NYU or Cornell. So, It's a big benefit to be part of.
So when I became a member of Phi Theta Kappa, I felt really great about myself, especially because, like we were talking about before, like the school seemed to be divided between people who are going beyond the mile and like, you know, they're going the extra mile to like do all of these things to be academically superior to everybody else in the school, or feel like they're taking advantage of all of the possible opportunities that they can take advantage from in BCC. And then the other group was just like people who weren't as motivated. So joining Phi Theta Kappa was definitely a big accomplishment for me because as it is, I like, because I wanted to just go far into my journey being at BCC and then continuing my education, I would always put a lot of emphasis on academics and trying to get good grades, trying to do everything I can, like go the extra mile. Like I wanted to be part of those students where we would be globally, or I guess like in the US, like we would be recognized as members of the society amongst community colleges of students who go the extra mile, of students who, you know, like they're willing to just like give it that little push to go beyond in our academics, or like try and do something to do something like bigger than all of us and like change the world and change society and stuff like that, like joining clubs or like applying for internships or like doing all of these like opportunities. So becoming a member of Phi Theta Kappa definitely gave me like, it was like that little last thing that I needed to convince myself that I could do it. Like I could be one of those students that goes the extra mile and like be one of those students that it's thriving to do something that's bigger than themselves and like try and like push forward to do bigger things with my life, especially with my school.
Part of PTK has definitely shaped me a lot as a person, as a growing adult. I definitely feel like I matured a lot. Even over the course of 1 year, I really see a change in myself, specifically in time management, in organization, in planning, balancing PTK, balancing the projects while being a full-time student, while also working. I definitely had to learn how to balance my time wisely, how to be on top of myself, you know, how to plan things accordingly, you know, learn when to take breaks, learn when to do your work, how to figure everything out and fit it into my schedule. I definitely got a lot better at that while being a part of PTK, learning balance. Balance is a big thing that I learned, trying to juggle everything. It was definitely not easy in the beginning, but I am very fortunate that I went through that experience because I feel like I can handle anything practically, how much we were going through. Also, I definitely got better at presenting, giving presentations, speaking in front of people, even though all of our presentations were over Zoom, obviously due to the pandemic.
Yes.
I still definitely got better at making PowerPoints, presenting, speaking publicly in front of people. That is a skill that definitely improved through PTK because we had to give so many presentations throughout the course of the 2 semesters. But overall, definitely, I feel like I got more confident in myself as a student, as a leader, as a person, honestly. I definitely grew, became more responsible, more mature. I definitely saw myself evolve over the course of the year in a variety of ways, and I'm very, very grateful for PTK.
So I am like more confident than ever. Like PTK really gave me the confidence and motivation to do more. Like taking part in college project or honors in actions, you know, opens doors to like leadership and scholarships. And it really made me believe that students can make a difference. And because I understand that now, I look more forward to the next chapter.
And also just the experience I got doing the research project for HIA, the experience I've got communicating with one another, with holding and facilitating these events that we had, even when it was happening online. We just executed everything close to perfect, I would say. And that experience really helped my transition here because now I'm at my 4-year institution, knowing how to socialize, knowing how to communicate, knowing how to facilitate meetings. It wasn't that hard for me to apply for leadership positions because I had that experience. So I'm already doing a lot on campus in just my first month in, not my fourth. And a lot of that has to do with the preparation that I underwent being a Phi Theta Kappa member. I mean, it's just absolutely phenomenal. I'll tell anybody going to Bergen to join PTK, because it's truly a blessing to be a part of it, to be a member, and even more when you are active and you're a board member, you're just going out and doing those activities that we work so hard to put together for the student body. So 1000%, it just helped me. So I'm very grateful for it, and I appreciate PTK and BCC. Okay. Okay, so the first advice I would give is to not be afraid to just ask for help, put yourself out there. Usually at community college, it's a more independent environment. You kind of have to go out and seek the resources and the opportunities. You need to ask questions. So my first advice is don't wait. Don't wait for someone to come and ask you how you're doing, because 9 times out of 10, it'll be too late when someone asks you that. So definitely put yourself in the position where you're asking questions. Where can I go to do this? Where can I go to do that? What resources do I have? How do I join PTK, and what are the requirements? Go out to those workshops. I would say get involved in clubs and anything. Don't be that student that just goes to class, kind of just focuses on homework and exams and then goes home. That's really important. But even as much as important as that is, so is putting yourself out there and being involved, and not essentially just building a resume, but truly building experience, social experience that could help aid in your growth as a person. That's the advice that I always give. And for people going to Bergen specifically, there's so much Bergen has to offer. So much. So I like to say that there is something out there for everyone. So just keep an eye out. Keep an eye out for Selena. But I gotta keep an eye out for Selena. And keep an eye out for all those opportunities that you have at Bergen, because there are a lot. Outside of PTK, and then once you join PTK, it just explodes with all of the things that you could be doing. So just try your best. It can be hard. Some of us aren't extroverts, and it's hard to go out and ask for questions, and we overthink everything. But just little by little, try to put yourself in that area. Some people will jump to it immediately, and other people, it might take them some time. But just know that there is support. There are people that are there to help you, and you just have to extend your hand and ask for that help, and you will get it in return. If you don't get it in one resource or in one office that you were expecting, go to another office, go to another professor, go to another friend. There's someone out there that can help you. So just please don't feel like you're alone, because you're not. Okay?
Have a vision, and don't lose sight of that vision, and get involved. I know you want to fast forward, and I know that you want to transfer to your university, but really enjoy that transition. Get to know your fellow peer, embrace your professors, learn, grow, just grow, learn, and get involved. And I promise you, like a flower, you'll bloom and you'll move on to the next garden. So just get involved and embrace your situation.
Okay, so the biggest advice that I would give to a student, it's definitely like coming from a person who went to high school in a third world country where we didn't have a lot of like academic resources. When I came to BCC, the biggest thing that surprised me and the biggest thing that I squeezed out of my education was the tutoring and all of the like all of the resources that BCC provides you. For a lot of people, it's very underrated. For example, like the tutoring center, the math walking center, and the counseling, like all of the academic counseling and advising that you could get, and like it's free, you know? And so I would definitely advise all students that are incoming into Bergen to definitely not lack on like interest on all of these things that could possibly help you, because what definitely pushed me forward the most into my academics and helped me the most when I was struggling with like my calculus classes or things like that was definitely the tutoring center. Like I feel like everybody should have the mentality of like, you need like if you need the help is there. You just have to like seek for it and like find it. And BCC is giving you all of this help, like all of these resources that you can take advantage of. Like you can go to the tutoring center where they can tutor you for accounting or absolutely anything you could possibly ask for. And you just have to like dedicate time. You have to be willing to put in the time to be like, okay, today I'm not going to watch a show because I'm going to go to tutoring and I'm going to learn about this thing that has been bugging me and I can't understand, and just be able to like squeeze all of the juice of your education and take advantage of all of the resources that could push you forward and definitely help you a great way in terms of like how well you're going to do in your academics afterwards. So I would definitely advise all students to not feel discouraged if they feel like things are not working out, and just definitely like keep in their mind that the help is always there if you need it. You just have to look for it, and everyone is willing to help you. So, you know, take advantage of the tutoring center, like I said before, the math walking center, your academic advisors, you know, like there's a bunch of resources, like health resources that you could rely to as well. So definitely just take advantage of all of those and never feel like you're alone or like you just don't know what to do when you're stuck, because even your professors have like office hours that they're required to have that you can take advantage of and like ask them for help, you know? So yeah, my biggest advice was definitely be take advantage of all the resources, and you know, just remember that they're always there, like if you need them, if you need help.
Good question. Definitely I would tell any community college student to get involved in some way, make their time matter. It might be short, might only be 2 years, maybe they're there for a longer period of time. Whatever it is, use your time wisely and try to get involved, whether it's a club, whether it's an honor society, whether it's a sports team. I just really think you should try to get involved in the community that the school has to offer, because the school does offer a lot. There are a variety of opportunities, and you want to meet people, you want to have new experiences. You don't just want to go to class and go home. I did that my first semester and I hated it. I absolutely hated it. And I'm very fortunate for PTK because it definitely got me more involved in Bergen Community College. And I would tell any student, just try to get involved, whatever that looks like to you, whether it's a club, whatever. Try to get involved and don't waste your time. It goes by so fast, and you want to look back and remember your time and think of all the fun things you did, all the ways you got involved, all the ways you impacted the school, whatever that may look like to you. Definitely like try to leave a mark on the school, get involved, find a passion. I would definitely urge any student to just try something new and get involved, because it's going to go by so fast. And before you know it, you'll be off into your new chapter, new adventure. So
I think it really doesn't matter where you start. It matters like where and how you finish. So work hard, you know, walk with confidence, believe in yourself and your own like individual abilities, because that is more important than where you earned your diploma from. Yeah.
I don't think anyone can top the song that I'm about to give to you right now.
Difficult question, because it was such a ride. I mean, from disappointment to, you know, achievements, to even tears, to even figuring things out financially.
It's something, because there's just so many beautiful songs and meaningful songs out there.
tough question.
Actually, I was asked a very similar question on my college application, and there I said I answered as Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen.
I want to answer this with a genre, and the genre is called math rock.
Okay.
It's basically it's like bands like Covet, Chan, TTNG, and these are math rock bands. And if you don't know about a math rock band, today would be a good day to look one up. And it's basically just a lot of instrumental, intrinsic tapping and music, drumming. And to me, that was my theme song. You know, with every beat, I had to step to it, and it helped me through.
If I could choose a song that described my experience at Bergen Community College and that could really show how I feel, it has to be All Star, you know, from Shrek. Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game. And I'm wearing green, so we out here.
I would probably choose the song Get Back Up Again from the Trolls movie.
Hey, I'm not giving up today.
Yeah, it's basically like a super inspirational song, like super hyper, super like happy, and it basically just talks about like, you know, but when everything is going wrong, like I'm gonna get myself back up again, and I'm just gonna continue to like fulfill my journey and like do everything that I know I'm supposed to like thrive. And I feel like that's definitely something that represented my journey at BCC a lot. Like I would always get super stressed with my academics, and like even my boss, when I used to work at the Turning Point program, like he used to tell me all the time, like, oh, you're gonna be fine, like you always get so stressed and then you end up getting good grades. And it's like I feel like a lot of the things that I did at BCC, aside from experiencing new things and making new friends and stuff like that, was how I kept pushing myself through my academics to succeed, and how I kept pushing my friends as well by inspiring them to, you know, like just study or like, you know, get things done, you know, and like focus on their academics and like try and give it the importance that it deserves. So yeah, if I had to define, one of the biggest things like in the song was definitely having to push myself through my academics and like just doing it, like just getting it done, you know. So
There's always this song that I go to. It's by Florence and the Machine. I don't know if you know who that is, but it's a band. The song is called Shake It Out, and it's one of my favorite songs of all time. And the overall message of the song is kind of like shaking out all the negative vibes, whatever that is for you, any negativity going on in your life. I just think that's kind of relevant to my time at Bergen, because going into it, I was not happy, being honest. Bergen, like I said, was not my original plan. I was not happy to go in the beginning, and I had a lot of negative feelings. And I'm happy that those feelings didn't stick with me, and I was able to shake them out because I got more involved. I joined PTK. I met many new people. I had a great time being involved in PTK. And the song just kind of reminds me of it, because if I didn't like get rid of all the negative feelings I had, I wouldn't have had the positive experience that I did at the end. So the song's just about, you know, the good moments do come after the bad moments. I gotta kind of get through the bad moments. And eventually, like, good times will appear. You just kind of gotta get through them. But I would definitely say that song is representative of my time at Bergen.
This song was like my mood lifter from all those like Zoom and WebEx fatigues that we had throughout pandemic. So definitely that song for sure.